Hey guys, what's going on? Today we are going to do a full breakdown analysis on Tesla stock and also why I like it. We're also going to be talking about why I have invested in YTSL, a dividend paying ETF. So stick around and join me to watch this video. How does Tesla make money? This is how Tesla makes money. Now, this is from 2022. Tesla generated $81 billion in revenue. And now the primary source, $67 billion, came just from automotive sales, right? 82% of it came from automotive sales. So that means their cars, their Tesla cars. And I believe they have about 3 cars right now that they're selling. 5% came from energy generation and storage. So Tesla does have a segment of where they have, the Tesla solar panels, and they also have these large batteries that hold power that's been generated. And services, that's about 7.5%. I don't exactly know what their service part is. It's probably cloud storage and whatnot from just their cars. Leasing, obviously that makes sense. That's from obviously their car sales. And then regulatory credits, I believe that's from government money they get from government for being green and eco-friendly or whatever. But either way, these are pretty impressive numbers. I believe they just became profitable in 2021, and that profit has soared all the way to 2022. So let's look at analysis on Tesla, and today we're going to be using Stock Unlock to see a breakdown on Tesla stock. We're going to be using three different companies. We're going to be using Stock Unlock, we're going to be using Alpha Spread, and we're going to be using Simply Wall Street. So to be honest, my favorite one is Stock Unlock, and if you want to join it, you can get a discount and a trial. Link will be in the description. But Stock Unlock, it's very easy. You get a good score, whatever score you get over here. So we get 3.38, which is the average score on Tesla. Then you get a quick information right here. So Tesla has grown revenue at 28.13% over the past year, which is strong growth. However, it has a gross margin of 19.8%, which means it's not able to deliver its product servicely very profitably. So analysis rated at 4.20. I could really give a fuck. Sorry, I don't really care what analysts say. Financial health is at 4, which is very good because this means that it's not going to go into debt anytime soon, and we want to stay far away from companies that have a poor financial health or too much debt, because during times of high interest rates, inflation, they lose a lot of money, and you can see that through utility stocks. Now, growth, 2.75. I don't really like that number too much. We can see that the revenue is increasing, however, gross profit decreasing, operating income also decreasing, and net income decreasing. Now, I think this is just because of the environment we're in. We're in a recessionary period. A lot of cars have not been selling. Profitability, I actually do not think a 20% gross margin is bad. I actually like this number. However, they're flagging it as bad because when you compare this to companies like Ford and GM, they don't even have a gross margin close to that number. Maybe it's like 5%. Management 3.5. This is probably because of Elon Musk. Let's look at the financials. So let's look at the balance sheet. Assets, they have pretty assets, liabilities. So one number I like is we see an asset at 93 billion versus liabilities of 40 billion. So this is just like a cash to debt ratio, and we can see it right here. So this is a good metric just to show you that the company is going to stay afloat. It's not going to go bankrupt. So everyone keeps saying Tesla's going to go bankrupt. How can it go bankrupt if its assets are higher than its liabilities? So nothing to worry about there. Tesla is not going to zero, nor is it going anywhere. Another thing I like is look at the overall revenue. All right, so we can as long as the company's revenue keeps increasing, the company, it's very hard for it to go bankrupt if it keeps making money. Now, maybe its profit margins aren't exactly there, but the future is definitely bright. I mean, before this whole recessionary period happened, if you look in 2020, they were growing their numbers, right? It's only until now that they're, I want to say losing money, but doing less than they have, right? like if you look at our gross profit, our worry was the gross profit was low, but if you look at over the years, you went from 2 million. Okay, let's look at the yearly. Let's not look at the quarterly. Gross profit. Like, look how much it has increased from 400,000, 800,000, 900,000, 1.6 million, 2.2 million, 4 million, 4.06, 6.6 million. Look at that. Look at that growth. 6.6. Then it doubled it to 13, and then in 2022, almost doubled it again at 20 million. It's only until you only see it decreasing after 2022. Obviously, a recessionary period, it drops to 4.2, then jumps to 5, then 4.5. Like, it's very tethering. But like, just look at that one gross margin. It's not gonna break me. Now let's look at what Alpha Spread has to say, and this is also very good. I really love the graphics. So if you look at the worst case scenario of Tesla stock, it's overvalued by 82%. They're saying it's in the best case scenario. I mean, the base case scenario is also overvalued by 63%, and the best case is overvalued by 36%. So how would you use these metrics? Well, in a bull market, I say this is the best one to use. So in a bull market, the price of Tesla stock at $140 is fair value. This would be like more like times like now, which would be the best case would be $81, and the worst case, which was maybe last year when we were in a bear market, the price for Tesla at $40 was probably a steal. Obviously, it never came to that. But you know what? You pay a price for a good stock, especially a growth stock like Tesla. You're gonna pay more than whatever the real value of the company is. Fundamental analysis, pretty much the same thing. 95 billion revenue, operating income of 10 billion, net income of 12. I like to same thing. Balance sheet 93 billion versus 40 billion liabilities. See, so the most important thing I like to look at is the profit margin. So we got a margin of 20%, then we have a operating margin of 11 and a net margin of 11%. So nothing in the negatives, which is very good to see. Fundamental score, so profitability 67, fair value, solvency, which is the financial health, is 78. Test Wall Street price targets. We have a high target of 400, average of 228, and lowest of 25. That's also my target, which is 400. Now let's look at simply Wall Street, and they also have a great way to show you what they feel about the company. So all these companies, the one thing, all these analyzers, the one thing they're showing you is the health of the company, and they're saying financially it's very healthy, and obviously the future is looking bright. However, it is way overvalued. Obviously, it pays no dividend unless you have YTSL, and they can't track any past performance because it is a new company. Look how much it has grown over the last couple of years. So imagine what's going to happen in the next 5 years. And my target for Tesla definitely is $400. Right now it's sitting at $218, and I think $400 it could reach maybe in a year or two. So let's see what happens, right? By stockunlock is their DCF tool, which could tell you where the stock price can possibly go in the future. Now you can use free cash flow, that it is pretty accurate, but I like to look at for a stock like Tesla, I like to look at it based on their operating income, just because it's a growth stock, and as long as the revenue increases, you can tell where the price is going to go. However, I don't want to give it such a high value, so I'm going to go with a fair value of 10%. And as we can see, the stock is projected in 5 years or whatnot to go to a high of 739, and that's only if their operating income can keep increasing. And we have already seen from 2018 all the way to 2022, huge growth, especially because EV is becoming the future, and everyone is deciding, all the governments are deciding to move their their cars to EV. So as long as their operating income can go, and we have seen in the past Tesla stock has been following how their operating income goes. It's only until around 2022 it stopped following operating income. Why? Obviously because we're in a recession. But however, I feel like once the economy becomes better and it can follow this operating income, just based on a 10% growth, which isn't a lot, of just their 10% revenue increasing, we can see that the price of Tesla by 2030 can reach almost $739. Now, my target is $400, and it looks like we might reach that by the end of 2024 or by the end of 2025. So the profit has been raising over the years, and I definitely think, Tesla's not going anywhere. I know a lot of people are bearish. I used to be bearish on Tesla, but Tesla's not going anywhere. Now, what else? So in their 2023 Q2 statement, we can see that automotive sales also were 50%. So it went down because they're making money from somewhere else. So regulatory credits 28.2 million. Automotive leasing 567 million, energy generation 1.5 billion, services 2.2 billion. So we can see that they've been losing money on automotive credits because I think there's more EV cars going around, so it's just decreased in sales. Automotive leasing, we are in a recession, so I can see why not many people are buying their cars, but the sales are still going up. Now what else we gotta look at? Okay, so the future, the reason why I think the future is bright for Tesla, look at like most people don't understand this, but Elon Musk and Tesla itself are working heavily on AI and robotics. As we all know, AI is growing, so it's definitely a catalyst to boost its stock. Now we can look at like the Tesla bots. I'm pretty sure all of us have looked at these videos of these crazy Tesla bots, and the whole reason is to create a general purpose bipedal autonomous humanoid bot capable of performing unsafe, repetitive, boring tasks. So think about like a GM car plant or like the Amazon factory. Most people don't like to do these repetitive tasks, and not only that, like companies like Amazon and GM and all these plants save so much money. Instead of hiring people, they hire these they just buy these Tesla bots or any of these autonomous bots and make them work. Now this might seem all sad, like, oh, robots are gonna steal our jobs, but hey, that's the reality of it. And then it's coming. You can't stop it. Like these Tesla bots are coming, and who knows? Maybe you can buy these for you to be a servant, like that iRobot movie, and then in a couple of years we're gonna be fighting these robots. The FSD chips will build. So just to let you know, this is just looking at the Tesla careers page, right? You got to think different. You can't look where everyone else is looking. I'm looking what is Tesla hiring for the future, right? So they're looking for someone that can build these Tesla bots. An FSD chip was the building AI interference chip to run full self-driving software. So it looks like Tesla wants to build their own AI chips instead of buying it from NVIDIA and AMD. Now this is very cool. So as you can see, they're trying to program their AI for their autonomous driving, and we've been seeing a lot of problems in their automatic driving, but there's something they're working on. They want to improve it. I also heard some stories about how Tesla, like from their camera, they capture all these roads and pretty much putting it into their storage. So let's say my Tesla car, someone else's Tesla car goes to the same road. They're just building more knowledge and information of that same exact road, and they're holding it all into their cloud storage. Now guess what? They have all this information, and in the future, a lot of companies are going to also be doing self-driving vehicles, and now they don't want to see. The thing is, Tesla's been doing this for so many years. That's a lot of years of work of just capturing roads. So imagine GM or Ford or one of these companies want to do their own self-driving vehicles. They're gonna have to buy all this information from Tesla for a huge penny, because it's going to take so many years for Ford to run the same data, right? So that's another segment where Tesla can easily sell all their database and knowledge to other car companies for a pretty penny. But yeah, you can check this out on Tesla.com if you want to see where they're going to robotics in the future. But hey, AI is the future, robots are the future. That was my analysis on Tesla stock. Definitely give me definitely subscribe and let me know if you own Tesla stock and what you think about Tesla stock. I mean, I know there's a lot of debates on how people feel about Tesla, how we feel about it being overvalued. However, I definitely think, you know, the CEO Elon Musk has a lot to offer to the world and the company, and a lot of there's a huge following for Elon and Tesla, so people are definitely fans of Tesla. So I definitely think there's a great future for Tesla. However, I'm not one of those that's gonna argue with you and fight people online on Tesla. I'm not crazy, you know. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time.